Metaphors in Film, Twilight. By Danielle Sainte-Marie. These articles are not to be taken as reviews or synopses of films, i.e. whether or not one should or should not watch a particular film. Rather, these articles simply explore films which possess deep, metaphorical content. The purpose of these articles is to help awaken one to the perplexity in the world of not just the cinematic arts but all other arts as well. Metaphors are everywhere, and it matters not if they are intended by the artist. Sometimes they appear with absolutely no direct intention on the part of the creator. This is part of their mystery, as metaphors and mythologies have invaded the whole earth not just by diffusion, the sharing of ideas from one culture with another, but also because as humans we all possess many of the same experiences of life. Jung called these metaphors that crop up unintentionally as archetypes of the collective unconscious. They are just elements that appear across all cultures and throughout all art. So, when reading these articles, do not get lost in the wondering of, yes, but did the director/writer/actress/actor, etc., really mean for it to be seen this way, because it matters not if it was intended. The metaphors are still there and available for perusal. This is why I often say I have never seen a bad film. It's because when I view a film, I always walk away from it having learned some grand lessons about life. You can do so as well, no matter what the film, music, book, etc., is, if you are open to finding the metaphorical content and its significance for your own life. Twilight, noun. 1a. The diffused light from the sky during the early evening or early morning when the sun is below the horizon and its light is refracted by the Earth's atmosphere. b. The time of the day when the sun is just below the horizon, especially the period between sunset and dark. 2. Dim or diffused illumination. 3. A period or condition of decline following growth, glory, or success, in the twilight of his life. 4. A state of ambiguity or obscurity. Twilight is, metaphorically, a film about the reality of being human. It is a tale of a sorrow-filled, tough world where love, friendship, commitment, honor and individuation can still be found. It is very metaphorically dense, and there is much to learn from its musings. The film's opening philosophy as spoken statement is that dying in the place of someone you love is a great way to die. This can be seen several different ways. One way is, of course, to die for a friend or other loved one. But, what about loving yourself and being happy at your own death, because you know that you loved you? We hear a female voice speaking these words and view a fawn innocently drinking from a brook. The deer is then chased by something, a predator, yes, but one looking to kill her or just possess her we do not know, and this predator appears to have some animal and human qualities. The predator drops from the trees and startles the fawn, which immediately then takes off running. Is the fawn scared, or is her flight representative of the chase of love, or possibly the inevitability of death? When the stalker catches the fawn, the quickly viewed cut scene is ambiguous. Is the fawn being killed or being hugged? And, is there a difference? When we die, is there not a peace? This gets mentioned at the end of the film. The next scene opens up with a pale white, older teenage girl, Isabella Swan, or just Bella, or Belle, to her confidants. Bella is a name that means beautiful, or consecrated to God, and she is in the desert. We learn this is Phoenix, Arizona. Now, several metaphors are contained in this scene. First, a pale white person often means innocence, and the fact that she lives in the desert makes this even more of a stark reality. She is, in essence, living among experience but has not lived it herself yet. The name of the town, Phoenix, is also quite clever. So, what does the phoenix represent in mythology? The phoenix is a mythical bird that is a fire spirit. Near the end of its life it builds itself a nest of twigs that then ignites. Both nest and bird burn fiercely and are reduced to ashes, from which a new, young phoenix or phoenix egg arises, reborn anew to live again, usually between 500 to 1,000 years. The new phoenix is destined to live as long as its old self. In some stories they are able to change into people. So, in other words, the fact that she lives in Phoenix, fire spirit, like the town's name and geographically hot location, and yet she appears as innocent, new, white, pale, inexperienced, says she is about to be reborn, she is a babe that is about to grow up. It is time for her to arise from her mythical ashes and begin to explore the world. So, we quickly learn she is leaving Phoenix and moving to where else but Forks, Washington, which is to be her new home. She is heading to rediscover, or find, her father. Forks, according to the dictionary, are a division of branches, or the place where something divides into branches. In other words, it is a crossroads, and many great mythological tales mention coming to a fork, or a crossroads, as a way to understand the importance of the decisions we make in life. Will we take the right-hand path of service and servitude, or will we take the left-hand path to self-actualization, blazing new trails in the process? Robert Frost's excellent poem, The Road Not Taken, illustrates this dilemma. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This is the same story of Bella in Twilight, who has decided to take the road less traveled. She is going away from her comfortable surroundings and onto a new adventure. At Forks, we know she will discover different paths to take for her life. Which one will she decide upon? In ancient mythology, the quest to find the father motif is a popular one. What is it really about? Finding the father is realizing your universal power inside. It is about discovering that you are not only connected to the universe, but an integral part of it. In essence, you and the Father are one and the same. The tale of Changing Woman, in the Navajo tradition, is that of two boys, who are actually one, who set out to find their father so they can rid their territory of monsters. What they find is that their father is actually the sun, and that they have great power inside to harness his energy. To do this, they must grow and leave their mother behind, meaning, they must realize they sprang from the earth but now see they are a part of the very fabric of the universe itself, and Bella, in Twilight, says that in order for her to find her father she has to leave her mother behind. Of course, she heads north from Phoenix to Washington. In Changing Woman, which direction do you think the boys must head in order to find their father? If you guessed the north, you are absolutely correct. The north is a significant direction in mythologies and metaphors. Think about it logically for a minute, and you will see why it developed so universally. The north in our world was a route to almost sure death for many, many centuries. It has only been very recently that we have been able to brave its elements. It is a place of the unknown, a place of mystery and wonder. But, the north also can be thought of as above, so the stars and the heavens become mysterious and unknown to us as well. Even our own minds, which are often so mysterious to us, are north in our bodies. So, in Twilight, we see that Bella is off to discover who she really is, how she will decide to grow, and is doing so by jumping into a great, mysterious journey. It's also worth noting that she deliberately leaves a warm environment and moves to a cold environment. Is this the element of the unknown and/or a metaphor for heading to death with integrity? 4. How can we get to death without first living? In the scene of her trip across country, the film goes from desert to snow, and in the scene as she approaches Forks, we see a huge bridge. This is the bridge from her world to her father's. They are linked, but separate, much as we are in our own lives with everything and everyone. Her father is the chief of police, which is an authority figure. Most fathers are authority types in mythological tales. Then it becomes the goal of the hero or heroine to rise to the level of the father's responsibilities and even improve upon them. We do get the feeling in his controlled, careful demeanor that he will have to work very hard to relate to his daughter. Interesting note here, in the scene where she and her father drive through Forks, there is a statue of a grizzly bear with a salmon in its mouth. Is this a foreboding of danger, a monster about to eat its prey, or is this simply a homage to the Quileute Indians who inhabit the area? The Quileutes' actual, ancient mythologies incorporated a celebration of the salmon, and the film was done on location. He comments to her that her hair is longer than he remembered, and she says she cut it from the last time she saw him. This lets us understand how long it has been since they have been together and how estranged their relationship has been. She also carries with her a cactus as a reminder of home, and yet it is a metaphor that says she is still innocent, and has not fully let go of her old ways yet. Possibly, it can even mean that she rightfully doesn't discard her past in order to embrace her future. Can you see more metaphors for the cactus, such as, I can't let anyone too close to me yet? There are many more, and this article is only meant to point you in the direction of finding the rest on your own. Her father asks her when he introduces her to her room, "You like purple, don't ya?" This is a way to introduce the second color to our psyches. First was white, for innocence, and next is purple, which means royalty or greatness. By this idea we see that she is in for one amazingly transformative adventure. Next, 2 Native Americans arrive to the house, and Bella and her father go outside to greet them. The senior Native American is in a wheelchair, and the other is a boy about Bella's age. The man in the wheelchair and Bella's father go to the background, and she and the younger man, Jacob, talk in the foreground. Her father is able-bodied and he represents Bella. The man in the wheelchair, Billy Black, represents Jacob. Billy being in the wheelchair is a symbol for being half man/half machine, or one with secrets. Thus, we wonder, is Jacob something else? Is Jacob half boy/half something else? Bella is given an orange truck by her father which he bought off of Billy Black, and so now we get the third color introduced to us. Orange is a color that denotes energy, warmth, and the sun. There's the father again.